Thank you, Monica. First, giving praises to God, without whom nothing is possible. I welcome you on behalf of Mount Hope Housing Company and the Board of Directors. This center has been the vision of this community for some time, well over 15 years. And quite a few people worked hard and laid a foundation so we can sit here today in this center. 4 or 5 years ago, it was an abandoned lot riddled with bottles, which we had to clean up almost on a daily basis. Today we have the honor of welcoming, our very first majority leader, our own, Senator Pedro Espada. It's only appropriate and fitting to have this here because, like the senator, many things come to fruition as a result of hard work. Oftentimes, people do not see the individuals behind that hard work. We only see the end product. Today, it takes a really bright person to recognize some of those individuals who've laid that foundation. As we approach the Bronx, we are fighting a brain drain because there is a small gap between the generation that laid that foundation and the generation that we have today. One person that I know can lead the war against that brain drain is our senator. He is not only connected to the community, but he himself has laid quite a bit of foundation in regards to the development of the Bronx. So it's only, I don't know what to say. Thank you. I guess that's the only thing we can say. Sometimes doing what has to be done is not popular, and without the right friends, even the good deeds are painted in bad pictures. But as long as we know in your heart, and you know in your heart you're doing the right thing, and the community knows you're doing the right thing, we always welcome you. So without much else to say, because I don't have enough words, I would love to welcome our very own, our own majority leader of the New York State Senate, Senator Pedro Espada.
Buenos dias and good morning. If I could just ask Monica to lead with her poem, because I think I'd like to follow up in the spirit and the prose of this wonderful dedication to the women and the theme of this program. So can I call upon you to thank you?
We come from a long line of women who have always been workers and strivers, women of color and courage, of spirit and spunk, true survivors, women whose dreams light their journey at even the darkest hour, who trust in their ultimate purpose and have confidence in their own powers, women whose faith keeps them going, who prayerfully lift up their eyes to the Lord, who they know will be there with them all the way as they reach for the prize. Through strength of character, self-confidence, and lots of hard work, have earned a place of honor and respect. Thank you for being one of these mighty women.
And you need to, with all due respect, clap a little harder, because not only is that the sentiment, but that is the original work of Monica Harris herself. We were inspired to develop this tribute because I repeat this as often as I can. When I came to the United States from Puerto Rico, we had a 8-hour Pan Am cheap fare flight to New York City from Puerto Rico, and I I was 5 years old, but I can still remember how my mother held me and my sisters. We got very sick on the way over. My father had already come to the South Bronx ahead of the family by a year and a half. So we had been without a father for quite some time. I remember getting into a lot of fights in school, after school, for various reasons. And my mother was always there to remind me how good I was and how purposeful a life I could lead. I remember my mother being the victim of daily domestic violence incidents. I remember when I was 14 years old, being the head of the household. For many reasons, my dad couldn't be there. And I remember being on public assistance and my mother going every weekend to get on the cheese lines and to get the United States Department of Agriculture surplus food. And I remember taking some Safeway and that back in the day with the A&Ps of the day, taking those bags so that when I came back with my mother from those long lines, the kids in the neighborhood would think we went to the regular supermarket. I remember trying to hide long enough so that on the 1st or 2nd of the month when the welfare check came, I would go long after everybody had gotten their check into the mailbox to pull out ours because again, we didn't want people to know. But my mother always instilled this incredible humility and pride in all of her children. When we were hungry at night, she would give us some sugar water to fill our stomachs so that the stomach would get fooled into thinking there was enough food there. And then I remember having to tell her that I was not going to continue in school, that I had to go get a job full time. She looked at me like I was crazy. Like, don't you know what I see in you? Don't you know that someday you'll be a major figure not only in our family's life, but in the life of the Bronx and New York City and New York State? And I didn't understand any of it then. I certainly understand it now.